Hope you brought a change of undies. Things are about to get spooky. It's the Halloween edition of the Brian and Sherri Show.
Didn't hit that.
Oh, Sherri.
Oh.
Sherri.
Okay, we're going to do the... I didn't hit that, so let's try this one.
Welcome to the Brian and Sherri Show 4.0. Awesome guests, cool giveaways, and a whole lot more. And it all starts now.
So much better. Oh, my God. I can't stop laughing. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. And, of course, Brian here, and I am joined with my co-host, Sherri Johnson.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the show tonight. We have a very special guest, and I'm excited to have him here with us tonight. His name is Stevie GB, which we'll bring on in just a minute. So hold tight, Stevie. And Brian, so what's happening? What's going on with our show tonight? we had a situation. Our intro, it automatically starts everyone. So
it does, yes. And unfortunately, so tonight is a special Halloween edition somehow. But that's okay. We fixed it. So once again, I'm only here for a couple of minutes. I'm at work again, unfortunately. It sucks working nights, but hey, it's what keeps our show going pretty much. So like you said, we have an awesome guest tonight. I can't wait to listen to it. I'll be listening to it while I work. So it'll get me through the rest of the night. So, so that's pretty much it. That's all I'm doing.
Well, I'm definitely going to miss you, Brian. You know, it's hard doing shows without you, but, you know, it's just not the same. But I'm glad you're here to open with us, and I'm glad you're able to meet Stevie. And please, enlighten us on what is going on with these T-shirts, because I keep getting a lot of people asking me, what in the world, how do they get them, and when were we getting them, and all that.
Yeah. So, as everyone knows, I posted the pictures of the T-shirts. We talked about them months prior. Nothing was happening. It took a little bit, but we finally did it. So we do have T-shirts with two different logos on it. So one with our faces right on it, and then another one which is our simple Brian and Sherri Show logo. So both are available, so you can choose which logo you want. We have sizes from small to extra large. If you need anything bigger than that, let us know. We're also going to be introducing sweatshirts as well in the near future. So the T-shirts are $10 a piece. Cheap, right? And if you live local, I'll even bring it to you. I don't mind doing that because I love meeting the people that listen to our show. It's awesome. So Sherri and I, we don't mind doing that. We'll also ship it to you. If you don't live nearby, we'll ship it to you. No shipping. I'll pay for it. How cool is that? Who says that, right? Free shipping. So anything we could do to get them out to people and have them start wearing them. We love it when they take pictures, and we did it before. They would take pictures of themselves, little selfies, post them on Facebook. Fantastic. So we're going to do that again. This is to raise money for the show. Not just the show, but we have been asked to attend a Comic-Con for the first time for 2019. And we have to go. We absolutely have to go because we will be plugging away at a certain book, Earth's Last Starship. That's the name of the book. It is written by our friend and author, Daniel Payton. Sherri and I are characters in that book. We are the main characters. So I encourage everyone to go to Amazon, type in Earth's Last Starship, buy it now. You can even type in Daniel Payton. Pick up the rest of his books as well. So that's our goal. We have a goal. We need to meet that goal in either to get us to wherever this Comic-Con is. I have no idea. It's somewhere out there. I'll get the details later, but it's going to happen at some point. So, that's what's going on. So to get the T-shirts, unfortunately, we're having an issue putting it up onto the website. I don't understand what's going on with that. They're trying to figure that out for us. For now, I put on Facebook that you can message us right on Facebook, let us know that you're interested, what size you'd like. We can take payments over Facebook when we meet in person. Cash or credit doesn't really matter to me. So, yeah, just message us.
Awesome.
That's it.
Well, Brian, thank you so much for taking your time to explain all that. It's very exciting.
I'm going to run now, Sherry.
All right. Well, have fun at work. All right, Brian, thank you so much for joining us.
All right. Bye, guys. Have a great show.
Bye, Brian. Thank you. All right. And at this time, I'm going to bring on Stevie GB. Stevie, come on and join me. I'm waiting.
Hi. How are you?
Hi. Good. Oh my gosh.
First of all, you're saying it wrong. It's not Stevie GB. It's Stevie GB. Like, remember CBGBs in New York City?
Oh yeah. Okay.
It was a punk rock club in New York City called CBGBs, and I used to go there all the time. And somebody gave me the nickname of Stevie GB, so that's where it comes from.
That's right. Well, I apologize very much.
No,
I didn't
don't
want
apologize.
to think that way and be wrong.
Don't apologize.
Gotcha.
Stevie GB.
Well, thank you so much.
So it's not my given name. I wasn't born Stevie GB.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So, explain. How did you get that name then? What made you influence them to give you this nickname?
Well, that's what it was. When I was in the late 70s, I was a punk rock fan. I'm an old guy. I'm 61, so I'm not this spring chicken. But anyway, back in the late 70s, I was a punk rock fan, Ramones, Patti Smith, all that good stuff, Blondie. And I used to go to CBGB's in New York City because that was like the home of underground rock, you know. And somebody said, hey, you're always going to CBGB's. We'll just call you Stevie GB. And that was before I did comedy. But when I started doing comedy, I wanted to come up with a catchy name, and so I used my nickname.
Right. Oh, very cool. I like it.
It was clever, cute. It has like a nice rhyme to it.
Definitely. That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, now you know.
Yeah. Now, I'm in Massachusetts. I'm in Western Mass, just so you know. Don't know too much about your area. So you're going to have to enlighten a lot of my listeners because a lot of them are not from your area. So if you could, please, tell us a little bit about yourself and how'd you get into being a comedian?
Oh, boy. Well, let's see. I've been an accountant for like 35 years, and, you know, accounting and comedy go together very well.
Right.
And not really. Right. Yeah, but you know, I was always the funny guy. I was the funny guy in school, the funny guy in the office, and somebody just kind of dared me to try it out. And there was like a talent night at a local. It wasn't even a comedy club. It was a restaurant, and I tried it out. And they said you have to do 15 minutes of comedy. It was a night they had musicians and jugglers and magicians, and I was the only comedian. And I had to prepare 15 minutes. Now, anybody that knows comedy, 15 minutes is a very long time for your first time up.
Right.
But I did it, and I actually won third place in the contest, and I got some laughs. I did very well, and that was it. I was hooked, and that was back in 1991, believe it or not.
Wow.
But then I thought I'd be on Letterman within a week, and, you know, it doesn't work that way. But, yeah, so I started doing it for a little while, and then I quit for a little while and came back, quit again, came back. And I've been at it pretty straight since 1998, I'd say. So like good 20 years straight through.
Wow, it's amazing.
And I'm from Long Island. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I still have that Brooklyn accent. Everybody knows Brooklyn. Even Western Massachusetts knows Brooklyn.
Yes. We do.
Then I moved to Long Island. I'm out on Long Island.
Wow.
That's where I'm from. Yeah, It's not bad. Long Island is. I've been to Massachusetts. I've been up to Worcester. How do you say it?
Worcester.
Worcester.
Well, our accent, it's Worcester. Like we pronounce it Worcester, but it's Worcester. Worcester.
Worcester.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Worcester.
It's all the same.
I've been
we
up there
shorten
in
everything
Springfield.
up here. Yeah. Oh, Springfield. Yeah.
Springfield. I did a comedy show there once in Springfield. I forgot the name of the place. This goes back. Do you have a comedy club up there?
There is. We are in Pittsfield, so we're about 45 minutes from Springfield, so I really don't know the places in Springfield too well when it comes to clubs.
I think it's gone. The place I had a bad habit of every time I traveled on the road and did a comedy show, the place would close down a week later. I used to say it was because I was so good that they couldn't top me.
That's it. Of course that's it.
That was my theory. Yeah,
right?
I was so good. They said, we got to shut down now because nobody could be better than Stevie GB, so we're done. I put them right out.
That's it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Hey, you never know, you know?
That's right. So what else do you want to know, Sherry?
Well, tell me a little bit. Now, are you still doing comedy today? Or?
Of course.
Of course. Okay.
More than ever.
And what type of, let's see, what type of comic are you? Like, what can you give it an example maybe of your work?
Well, I talk about, I'm 60 now, 61, so I talk about getting older, being married. I've been married 36 years. So, people always clap. I say, why do you clap? If I was doing 36 years in prison, you wouldn't clap. But I shouldn't compare marriage to prison because it's not that good. So, yeah, stuff like that. And, I talk about my daughter. I have a daughter who's still into Terrible 2. She's 28. So, those are the kind of silly jokes. But then I do talk about about my life. That's what I talk about and what's happening to me now. I try not to dwell on the past. A lot of comics in my age bracket tend to talk about back in my day, my dad used to beat me with a belt, things like that. So I try not to do that too much. I stay away from politics and current events. Pretty much being married, getting older, my surroundings. I talk a lot about living on Long Island. I do a lot of local material. So, I don't know. It's hard to describe. I could do an hour. I do an hour. So I do a lot.
Wow. Now,
yeah.
Do you do the same skit every time? Is this something, or do you try to come up with new stuff every show?
Oh, well, I'm always writing. I'm always trying out some new things. But I have my standard, a good 40 minutes that works everywhere. The thing with comedy is it takes a long time to develop an act that's going to work everywhere you go. So I'm proud to say that I've pretty much developed a solid 40, 45 minutes. And the other 15 minutes I play around in between trying out new stuff. So that's what I do. I mean, if I get an hour, I don't always get an hour. Sometimes I only get 20 minutes. Depends on the show.
Right.
But I have a good solid, I can go anywhere with a good solid 30, 40 minutes. That's not specific to where my local material. But if I start putting in my local stuff, then I can go over an hour because I got a lot of stuff about living on Long Island.
Right.
Which tends to work everywhere.
Yeah. I grew up with, my parents used to listen to Red Skelton and Benny Hill in like some English channel with some funny comedy shows. And so do you have anyone who has influenced you to be a comedian?
Well, I was always a huge fan of like Steve Martin, dare I say Bill Cosby. I grew up with his records. Unfortunately, he went the wrong direction. George Carlin, of course. Woody Allen. I like that kind of self-deprecating, observational. Jerry Seinfeld. I love Jerry Seinfeld. That's kind of my style. Larry David. I even sound like Larry David if you know who he is.
I don't. But
Curb Your Enthusiasm is a show on HBO. He has. I like I like a lot of different kinds of comedians. Joan Rivers, I love Joan Rivers.
Oh yeah, she's classic.
I love the classic comedians of Jack Benny and Groucho Marx and all the classic, the Marx Brothers. I grew up on that. I grew up on comedy because my parents were very funny, so there was always laughter in the house.
Oh, that's great. Now, have you always wanted to be a comedian?
No, I never really thought about it. It was like something that I never thought you could do. I just thought, like, you had to know somebody maybe. I never thought you could just do it, but you had to, like, go to school or something. But I didn't. There are classes. There are people that teach comedy classes, but I never did that. I just tried it on a dare, and it seemed natural to me, and I just kept doing it.
Nice. Now,
it's great.
Right. Now, have you traveled a lot? I mean, you did say you came up north to Massachusetts. Have you done a lot of traveling in your career?
Not really. I mean, I did for a few years back in maybe 10 years ago. I did the road for about, I want to say 2 or 3 years, and I really didn't enjoy it. I went to Cleveland. I went to a lot of places in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Connecticut, kind of in this area. I never went anywhere. I think Cleveland was the furthest west. I've never been out to, like, California or anything. But I didn't really care for it. It's a lot of, traveling is tough. And then you do all that traveling to get on stage for a half an hour. And the rest of the time is just hanging around. And it's a little bit of a lonely thing. So I really didn't enjoy that. So I kind of stay local. I do New York City. There's plenty to do around this area. So I keep pretty busy. I do like 60 shows a year. 60 to 65. So I'm busy.
Wow, that's great though.
Yeah.
I've interviewed a lot of comedians now, and they tell me it's a very, very difficult career to get into, and you don't make a lot, which in the beginning, where they are starting out, and it's really hard to balance life, job, and being a comedian. Have you found it's been that hard for you in starting out? And
oh yeah, well that's why I kept quitting.
Yeah. Oh.
It's very easy to quit because what happens is you run out of places to do it, and there's this whole thing with you have to bring people to shows to be able to perform. I'm sure you've heard that story a million times. So you'll run out of people. How many times can you drag your friends and family to shows? After a while, they hate you. I go to Thanksgiving and they treat me like I'm selling Amway or something. It's like, oh, here he comes. He's going to ask us to come to a show. And, they get tired of me. But, so I keep reinventing myself. I write new stuff. I create new shows to try to get the same people to come out. And I've been very fortunate in hooking up with some pretty good bookers that keep me busy, that book me on their shows. So that's, it takes time.
Right. Have you been in a situation where you didn't do that good? I mean, obviously you're good. But I mean, have you ever been in that situation where you haven't done that good and you just felt like you just couldn't do this type of thing?
Oh, you mean did I ever bomb?
Yeah, did you ever bomb?
On stage? Are you kidding? Of course not. Yes, of course. I'm kidding. Many times.
Right.
It happens. It's a weird thing. It's like, all you can go up and all your jokes will kill one night. You could do like 40 minutes straight of wall-to-wall laughs, and the next night do the same exact thing at a different audience, and they look at you like you got two heads. It's a very weird thing. I still don't understand that.
Right. I've heard that some places you go, people will laugh before you even hit the punchline, and it's like it kind of interrupts what you're trying to do. Is that true?
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Because people say, he's a comedian, let's laugh at everything, right? And
right. Especially if they've been drinking a little bit. That usually doesn't, sometimes makes it worse. But, it's a weird thing, Well, what it is I've challenged myself over the years. I still do. I do comedy anywhere. I mean, I've done, like, private parties. I've done comedy in people's living rooms where they invite me to their private party in their house. And, there's like 15 people there, and they hire a comedian. And those are tough situations because you're in their house. So it's not like they're going out to a show. I'm coming to them. So it's kind of like awkward, So some people are enjoying it, and then other people, like, they're getting up and going to the bathroom, or they're going outside, they're going to the refrigerator, they're talking to other people in the room, they're not paying attention, or they just don't like comedy. Some people don't like it, and they're not going to laugh no matter what you do. So it's a weird, but I put myself in some very weird situations. So that's just what it is. But that's how you grow. That's how you get better.
Right. I can see that. Now, I heard hecklers can be really mean and cruel. Have you ever had to deal with anyone?
Sure.
Yeah,
especially if they're drunk. If you're doing like a late show at a comedy club and they're drinking a lot, they get a little rambunctious. They talk back. It depends. I've done shows at libraries with older people, like they're in their 80s, and they talk to me. They just decide they want to talk to me. They're not really, they're really not heckling you. They just think they're part of the show. They're just like, oh, that happens to me all the time. The other day I went to the doctor too, and I'm like, what are you doing? I'm trying to do my act, and you're talking to me. Don't talk to me.
Right.
It's a weird situation. And then hecklers, sometimes people just get belligerent and mean, and you got to like shout them down or get right in their face. That tends to help. And what I've done is I try to get the audience. If it's a pretty good crowd, I get the audience on my side. Like if somebody's heckling me, I'll say, I don't think they want to hear you. They came here to hear me. Does everybody want to hear him? And then, you're going to get the audience to say no and tell him to shut up. And now it's like not just me against him. Now it's the whole audience against the heckler. And that tends to shut them up.
Right.
Because they get embarrassed. They get embarrassed.
Right. Oh, wow. Neat approach to dealing with them. I like that.
Yeah, because, some comics go back at them like, but sometimes if you get an obnoxious heckler, then it becomes a two-person show. And and sometimes the comics lose, and you don't want to lose against a heckler because now the audience, you've lost control of the show completely. So you got to get right in their face. You got to get the audience on your side and just shut them right down and then just continue.
Wow,
because there's a lot of concentration. Great. The thing that people don't understand is we're up there. There's like a lot of concentration going on. We got to figure out what we're doing, what our next joke is, what time is it, how much time do we have left to do, how much time have I done. If I've got 20 minutes, I'm at the 16-minute mark. There's a lot of preparation and concentration. So when a heckler jumps in, now it's like derailed. The whole thing is like a train is off the track now. And you got to figure out, like, how do I get back to where I was? It's not easy. So hecklers don't realize how much that they hurt the comedian. And it's disrespectful. It's rude.
Right. I mean, you're the entertainment, not them. You plain and simple.
Yeah. And they're never funny. They think they're funny, but they're not. They're just stupid.
Right. Definitly.
So I've had my share of hecklers.
Have you ever met anyone famous? Have you ever met anyone famous while you're out there?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've done shows with some people you might know. Louis Anderson, Rob Schneider, who was on Saturday Night Live. You know Rob Schneider?
Yep.
Dennis Miller, Caroline Ray. Who else? Bobcat Goldthwait. He's an old-timer guy, 70s. I just did a show at a big place in Nassau County on Long Island, at Westbury Music Fair, which is like a 3,000-seat theater, where I opened up for Dion and the Belmonts. They're an old 50s group. And the lead singer, Dion, I opened up for him. I've met some. I've met Kevin James a bunch of times. I know him. Jim Brewer. I'm trying to think. I mean, in my travels, I've run into some people. They're always nice. Louis Black.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you've met a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, over
really...
20-something years, you tend to run into people.
Right, absolutely. Now, do you have kids at all, or?
I have one daughter who is 33, married, lives in Florida.
Nice.
And that's it. That's all I got.
Nice. I was just wondering if they support you being a comedian and.
Well, yes. I want to say cautiously support me. How does that sound? Like, okay. Maybe he'll get over this. Maybe he'll get over this. And now it's like 20 years later. I'm not getting over it. Right.
Because you kind of started doing this right when she was, 10? So.
Yeah. Even they're all, about that. So, yeah. It's, they support it. Yeah, they like it now because I'm actually earning some money at it, so that part's good. Right. But in the beginning, when you're going out and making nothing and out until, midnight or whatever, or traveling, it's a little rough. It's hard to do when you have a family.
Right. Because a lot of it's almost always at night, right? I mean, we think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of driving. It's at night. It's in the winter, the snow and the rain, and you got to deal with all the conditions and the traffic.
Oh yeah, that's got to be rough. I hear about that all the time, every day when I talk to a comedian. They're telling me, "Oh, I got to get somewhere. We got to catch the van or the car and the taxi. I mean, and oh my goodness, it's kind of crazy."
Yeah,
especially
once I
when
took a Greyhound.
Yeah.
I took a Greyhound bus once. That was no fun. Up to Rochester.
Oh,
that was brutal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of traveling. It's, but it's, and you hate that part of it. But once you're on stage, it's like, oh, okay, this was worth all of that.
Right.
Then it's worth it.
Now, how do you rehearse? I mean, do you rehearse to people, like in front of a group before you go on stage, or to your wife? Or
No. If I did that, nothing would work, because she would just say, no, it's not funny. No good. No. I just kind of, it's in my head. I kind of say things over and over in my head. And before I go on, maybe on my drive there, I'm like going through my head like I know what I'm going to do. And then I have a set list. Like I just write one word. I have a set list of like words, keywords, so I know what I'm going to do. And that's pretty much it. And I just remember the set list. Like I know it's accountant, married, daughter, boom, 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 and whatever. And I know what I'm going to close with. And then I go up and I do my set. So I don't really rehearse. I just do it.
Yeah, it just like comes kind of natural to you. I can tell. It's just... Yeah,
because I've been doing it so long, so I pretty much know what I'm going to do. The hard part is when I write something new and I throw it in the middle. Then it's hard because I got to remember to go back where I was. You can lose track because I was like, oh, that's a new joke, and I don't know what I do next. What's my next joke? and you got to find your way. It's a little, but it's fun. It's challenging. I like that because then it's like I'm challenging myself. I don't like to be too prepared because when you're too prepared, you sound like a robot. You want to go up feeling a little unprepared is fine.
Right. I'm so glad you said that because, you know, Jody and I, you know Jody Oliver, we talk to people and they're coming off like robots to us. And we understand it's really hard because we do the Sherri and Jody's Comedy Forum, and you get 3 minutes. During a final, you get 4 minutes, and I will cut you right off after 3 minutes. And, you know, either they rush through it, or, you know, they're waiting for that laughter, or they give up and they end really early. But they sound like robots, like ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. You know, it's got to be the way it should be. It should be a conversation. When you go on stage and talk to the audience and doing comedy, it should be like you're having a conversation with them, not reading your jokes, because otherwise it sounds like you said, like a robot. It's like, I went to the store the other day, and I bought a container of milk, and then I went to the cashier, and the cashier said to me, it's like I'm bored with you because you sound like a robot, and it's the same cadence with every line. You know, it's got to be like, so I go to the store the other day. I get a container of milk. I go up to the cashier. Yeah, she's a young girl. I don't know. Maybe she's 12. I don't know how old she is. And see the difference? It's like now it's more of a conversation.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you're telling your story. You're not reading it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And Rodney Dangerfield.
You know, it's okay to have little pauses in between until like you think everything should sound like you're saying it for the first time. Right.
Okay. That's a great tip for our comedians who are listening tonight.
Yeah.
Do you have
if you watch all the good comedians, it sounds like they just thought of that. Like sometimes it's like, wow, he just came up with that, but they didn't. It's the same thing they've been doing, but it just sounds fresh and it sounds spontaneous. Right. And that's like the best comedians have that ability. Like I like Louis C.K. I mean, he's another guy that got in trouble. I like everybody that gets in trouble, but he's another guy. When he goes up and he talks, it's like he's having this conversation with the audience, and it's very fluid. It just sounds like he just thought of it.
Right.
You know? Or who do you like? I mean, who's your favorite? Do you have any favorite comedians?
I liked Rodney Dangerfield.
He's...
Yeah.
That's classic one-liner stuff.
Oh, yeah, but that was great. You know, Robin Williams, of course, and...
Robin Williams, there's a perfect example. Robin Williams sounded like he was making stuff up when he was on stage. It all sounded improvisational. But, you know, he didn't sound like a robot. He was the furthest thing from a robot. He was crazy. And he was all over the place. But it sounded fresh, and he brings the audience in, and it's very conversational. So that's the right way to do it.
Right. Yeah, I could never get sick to listening to him at all. Like I just laugh at him like all the time. And now that the new comedian, here goes my brain. He calls himself Fluffy. I can't. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Gabriel Iglesias.
Thank you. Yes, him. I really like. I think he's funny.
I haven't seen enough of him. I haven't watched any of his specials. I don't really know. I don't know his material that well. I know he's very popular. But again, I bet you would say the same thing. He's very conversational. Yeah, and he's like on stage he's very visual. I think being visual has a lot to do with it too. Yeah. Like with expressions and movements and things that they can say. I think that helps out comedians. And it's one of the things on the other show, you know, it's really hard for them to just talk into a telephone and do their skits because a lot of them use, you know, it's very different being on the phone than it is being on stage because you use a lot of emotion and you can pace and you can give better examples, I think, through visual as well. Yeah, I do that. I'm very animated. I make the faces. Very animated, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. It's very good.
do you sit back and watch these other comedians and like critique them in your head? You must be like, oh, that was horrible, or he's got to restructure.
Oh, you mean like the new ones? The new ones?
Yeah.
Oh,
the new ones. Yeah.
It's brutal. It's very hard. I feel like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? I know.
Have you ever taught anyone or mentored?
I have. In fact, I taught Jody. Jody is. I did like a consulting type class, and I try to help people. They call me up, and I charge like an hourly rate, reasonable, and I try to help them out with improving their material, tightening things up, and adding personality to it, because that's the whole thing. You got to add your personality to it. Otherwise, you're just kind of boring.
Right.
So, yeah.
Now that you say that, I really can see that in the different comedians that we've had on the shows. And Jody would critique them, and I could see where she's critiquing from, and I've never really listened to comedians before, like just, ones in clubs. I don't go to clubs and listen to them. We really don't have much up here for stuff like that. But,
right.
Listening to them and hearing her critique them, you did a good job teaching Jody, because Jody does a great job as well. I don't know if you've been able to listen to the show yet or not, but
no, I haven't. I'll have to listen.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of fun, and maybe you can even be on sometime. We'd love to have you on. And, that'd be something to have Jody critiquing you now.
No. She can do that. That's fine. I'm open to all suggestions.
No, that's great. We've had some comedians who've come on. One of them was 84. The other one would just turn 71. So we've had some older comedians come on as well. So.
Wow.
It's not just these young guys. We've had a mom, it's just funny. The different types of people and comedians are everyone just seems to be so much fun. So, you must
we come from all walks of life.
Yeah. So where do you see happening next with you? Do you have any new places you're going to be going into, or?
Yeah, well, I've been writing. I have a couple of one-man shows, which are like more story comedy, like theatrical a little bit. I do one called "Never Too Old to Be Immature." I love that title.
Nice.
And it's about, like, even no matter how old I am, I'm still like an immature person. I'm refusing to grow up. And, I talk about, getting older, and it's hard to describe it. It's more theatrical. It takes place in my man cave, and I'm cleaning out the junk for a garage sale that my wife decided to have a yard sale. And I'm, like, going through my old yearbook and talking about things I've been through. It's very funny, but it's a little bit of drama, which is fun, because that it brings the audience on a ride. It's like, it's not all set up joke punchline. It's not all premise set up punchline. It's more of a story, and it's fun. And I have another storytelling one, another one-man show. It's called Welcome to Long Island, which I'm doing. I've done that like 20 times, and that's about my move from Brooklyn to Long Island. Long Island is like a suburban area, much like where you are, and Brooklyn is a city. And at 14 years old, I moved from Brooklyn to Long Island, and it was like a culture shock. Went from thousands of kids to a place with no sidewalks. And so it's that whole story. And then I make fun of Long Island. And I'm doing that in April. I have and this is pretty far off, but in April, I'm doing that at a club in Nassau County on Long Island called My Father's Place, which is kind of a legendary club. It was around back in the 70s, and they'd reopened in a hotel Really beautiful hotel. They have a nice big room, holds about 300 people. And I'll be doing my show there in April, which is nice. And so, I'm trying to do different things. And they're both separate shows. They're about an hour long, and they're completely different. So I pretty much have 2 hours worth of material when you look at it that way.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So I'm trying to do different things. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of writing.
We have actually Brian, who had come back onto the show, and he'd like to talk to you for just a second, if he can.
Oh, he's back?
He's back. Brian, join us.
I'm back.
That's great.
Yeah, I've been listening to the show this entire time, and I can actually see myself going and watching one of your shows. Because
great.
When Sherri asked, who inspired you, and you name all these people like Carolyn Ray and Bill Cosby and all those people, I've watched all those people. I enjoy those people. I think that they're funny. Yeah, unfortunately, like you said, Bill went in a different direction. But still, back in the day, we all, I like all those people. So, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. So, so far so good. I'm liking what I hear.
Thank you.
You need to come back up this way.
I do.
Yeah.
I got to figure out a way to get out there. But you got no clubs. You got nothing out there.
Yeah.
Well, we do have the Colonial Theater. We do have the Colonial Theater, which, we have a really nice refurbished theater here in Pittsfield, Mass, where I was actually talking to Jody about trying to get a group together to come up and perform on that stage.
How many seats does it have?
900.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, I can definitely send you the information on Facebook, and I'll send you pictures of the stage and the seating, and I think you'll really like it.
Yeah.
Have you had any comedians there?
We have had some in the past, but we would like to have more of that come up to our area, which is really exciting.
Oh, they've had comedians, and we've had so many comedians. Not too many, but we've had comedians come up. The last comedian that I saw, because I'm a fan of Paula Poundstone. So
she's great.
She came up, and I got to see her show. Absolutely fantastic.
She does an hour and a half. She does a long show.
Yes, she does, but well worth it, let me tell you.
Yeah, she's great. How about Bobby Collins? You ever have him up there? He's probably been up there.
I don't know that name.
Bobby Collins? He's been around forever. He used to host VH1, Stand-Up Spotlight on VH1. And,
yes. Okay. Wow, that was
he's probably been up there. He travels around. I've opened for him about 7 or 8 times.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd like to know who you had there, because maybe I can be an opener or something. I mean, I don't think I can draw 900 people on my own name, but I could certainly be on a show.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you could. If we get a group of comedians who can come up, I'm sure we could. We could figure this out. I'll have to talk to you.
Now, where are you, in Pittsfield?
Pittsfield, correct.
Pittsfield? And is that it's in the western part of the state?
Correct. Yep. Pittsfield. I'm where I am right now. I'm about 2 miles or 3 miles maybe from the New York border. That's how close. So it's about mid-state, right, Brian? You would think.
So you're west of Springfield.
Correct.
You're west of Springfield.
Correct.
Are you by Marlboro, Mass?
Nope, that's the other direction. That's out near Boston.
East. That's near Boston. That's right.
Correct. Yeah,
I've been there. I did something in Marlboro.
Nice.
You're up in the mountains.
Yeah, we're about 3.5 hours, I believe, from New York City. So we're not too far.
It's doable. It would have to be an overnight. I don't think I would drive home.
Right. We actually have a ton of motels all in the area that do help support the talent that comes up for the Colonial. So
send me the information on that. I'd love to see the schedule and who they have. And now, do you help? Are you involved at all with booking that theater?
I am actually working on that currently. Is doing some bookings to try and get them into Colonial. I work with a lot of musicians, and since I've been talking to Jody, like I said, we were trying. I thought it'd be a great idea to have a group of comedians come up together because she feels, it'd be great to have more than just one. And that was all just talk, but I would love to be able to work on something like this and be able to get everyone up here. That'd be great. I think it'd be wonderful.
That would be great. Let me know. That would be. I would love to do it.
Yeah, they're heavily booked. We do have a lot of stages here in our area. We work with the, I don't know if you ever heard of the Berkshire Theater Group, which is in Pittsfield. And I don't know if you ever heard of Tanglewood or... Yeah,
that sounds familiar.
The Tanglewood is right near us, so that's just a couple miles away. And that's with the Boston Symphony Orchestra plays there. I'll send you all this information, and let's try to get you up here. That would be so much fun.
That would be fun. I would love to do it.
That'd be great. I'll definitely talk to Jody about that. And Brian, are you still with us? Okay, because I was going to say we could have. We could do a lot of advertising on our show as well for that, which would be neat. So to any of our listeners right now listening to the show, if you want, you can send me some questions if you'd like to talk to Stevie GB. And also, if you have any other ideas of possibly places we can have him come up and perform, that would be awesome. I don't have all the answers for that, but that we're close. We're near Albany. We're not too far from there. So even if you're in New York, near the Albany area as well, and have any suggestions or places that we can have him come up and perform, this would be awesome. And Brian and I would totally be there.
That would be great.
Yeah. And I know you said you do about 60 shows a year, so you're pretty booked, but we'd love to steal a little bit of your time somewhere. Amongst all
well, yeah, I would plan for it. I mean, we would definitely work on some dates, but I have right now 2019. I mean, I'm starting to book. I'm booked probably into like March and April, but this could probably take a little time to get it together anyway. So you could plan it for like, April, May. That's always a good time of year. You want to stay away from holidays and Super Bowls and sporting events. There's always a reason for people to not go. It's a Jewish holiday. The Super Bowl's on. So you got to find like the perfect weekend. It's Memorial Day. The kids just got out of school. The kids are back in school. Ugh. Right. The life of a producer, because I produce a lot of shows, and that's what it is. It's just hard to get an audience.
Right. Is that why a lot of the clubs demand that it's a bringer show? Is for that reason?
Yeah, of course. Yes, because you're a new comedian. You don't have, I have a little bit of a name, but I'm not Kevin James. I'm not Sebastian Maniscalco. I mean, if you book, him, Sebastian Maniscalco, he's like the biggest comedian out there. I'm not. Who's the guy you mentioned before? Rodney Dangerfield's dead, but Louis C.K., whatever. They're going to fill that place up because they're Louis C.K. Yeah. So, they're not going to run out and buy tickets to Stevie GB unless somehow you promote it,
Right, definitely. Well, I know, if we have plenty of time to work on something, promotion would be fine, I'm sure. Like I said, people up in this area,
if you get the theater involved, they put it in there. I'm sure they have a flyer with all the shows they have coming up. Make sure it's part of their schedule, and maybe they have members. They may have membership, where they say you get to see 5 shows at a discount. Throw it in their membership deal.
They usually do. Almost for every show, they sell out. Just so you know, there is. People love the Colonial because we don't have that much around here. When something does come in, like the comedians or like a special show of some sort,
it's
it
like
usually
the only game in town. It's the only game in town, so to speak.
Right.
Well, that's
and
good.
we draw a lot of people from New York who do come over to watch the shows, and so it does work. I mean, we're a small city, but it's large enough to where it definitely gets the business at the Colonial. Everyone just loves going there because it's a historical spot for us, and like I said, it's been refurbished, and they put a lot of time and money and a lot of creative art into it. So when I send you this picture, you're going to be amazed on what this place looks like. And
yeah, I'm going to look it up right now. Oh, here it is, Colonial Theater, Pittsburgh, Mass. I'm looking at it right now.
Yep.
Yeah, Pittsfield.
Yeah, and they're pretty booked.
Nice.
And I think they're pretty booked for a while, but if we start now, maybe they'll get you up here before too long.
That's a really nice theater.
Very nice.
Berkshire
I've been
Theater
there quite
Festival.
a bit. Thanks
wait
to
a
a
minute.
friend of mine.
Berkshire. Did you have the Long Island? Did you have a comedy festival show last year there? Because somebody was doing something with the Berkshire Theater.
Oh, probably.
Berkshire Theater.
Berkshire Theater Group. Yeah. That's right. Yep. There's a lot that goes on up here. Our city is really known for the arts and creativity and talent. So that is definitely something we want to keep bringing into our city, something like that.
Yeah, I see you have Bon Journey. Oh, how funny is that? What is it, like Bon Jovi and Journey together?
Yeah, it's a tribute to them. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. 5 comedians. Berkshire Theater Group, 5 comedians to watch for. Comedy Garage, November 15th.
Correct. Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah. See, I had not seen that, so I apologize to everyone for not looking at that. Into you, Stevie.
No, that's okay. This is great. This is a nice place.
It's very nice. Yes. So we'll have to get you to come up and be part of this up here somewhere.
Absolutely. Talking Heads tribute. Oh, that's funny. I'm just looking at their schedule. December, January. Oh, Christmas Carol. Of course, everybody does a Christmas Carol. Boy, next year looks pretty empty. Every month is empty. So they're not booking anything.
Well, we just have to find out all the specifics on booking.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea. All right. Any other questions?
Let me just
Did we cover everything?
We did, I think. I'm not sure. I have a few people texting me or saying they're asking if you don't mind 1 second.
Oh, thanks.
Someone let me ask, where do you rehearse your routines? Do you actually go on stage somewhere to do that, or you kind of answered that before?
Yeah, I just rehearse on stage. I don't really, it's hard to do it in my mirror in my bedroom. That's kind of weird. It's always nice to have an audience.
Right. You could look in a mirror and kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, it's creepy. I creep myself out when I do that.
Too funny. Yeah, I would creep myself out too. I'm
like, ew, what are you doing? Stop looking at yourself.
Do you want to take a couple minutes and maybe show some of your talent?
What do you mean?
Just
like
say,
do it.
do a little skip maybe. Could you throw a few things out there?
Do a little skip.
You got about 5 minutes. So.
5 minutes. What can I do? This is always so awkward doing it this way. I would much rather. Know what I'd like to do? Can I send you a clip and an audio clip, and you can play it?
I might not have time right now. I will definitely share it on my Facebook. So how about that? If anyone wants to see who it's about, they can go to my Facebook, sherri-clip, or go to Brian Sherri on Facebook and check out your clip. How about that?
Yeah. Go to my website, www.steviegb.com, and I have a YouTube link, and you could see lots of stuff.
Awesome.
That's probably the best way to do it. Because to do it like candidly off, it never comes out good when I do it that way. It's always best to watch it.
True. So do I share the YouTubes? Would be okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I can do that. Excellent. Well, is there anything else would you like to share where you're going next if people want to come out and actually watch you in a club? Do you have any dates?
Well, let's see. I'm going to be this Friday the 16th. I'm going to be at Governor's Comedy Club, which is probably the premier club on Long Island in Levittown, on Friday, November 16th. If you look up www.govs.com, you'll find my show. It's called The Old Bastards of Comedy. It's me and 5 other old guys. Call ourselves the Old Bastards. BASTIDS, Bastards of Comedy.
Comedy. Great.
We got that going on Friday. I don't have much going on. December is really a weird month. I'm doing a lot of private parties. I do some Christmas parties. I don't have any real public shows. So really that's the best one coming up is Friday the 16th.
Okay, excellent. At the Governor's Comedy Club.
Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, New York.
Levittown. There we go.
On Long Island.
Long Island. Excellent. I'm just writing it down so I can share your information on my Facebook.
Great.
So if anyone
well, if you open up your friend list, like dump somebody, and you can friend me.
I did do that already today. I don't know. Maybe you could try again.
Well, maybe we are friends. Maybe.
We might have. I did dump somebody today. I'm sorry, whoever that was. I couldn't pronounce your name, so I got rid of them.
Oh, it just worked. It worked. I just put confirm, and we're now friends.
Well,
so
congratulations.
It did work.
Congratulations. You're my 5,000th friend. How cool is
Look
that?
Look at that. See that? I made it.
Awesome. All right.
I'm pretty close to 5,000.
Very good. Oh, I beat you. I beat you to 5,000 with you.
You did. You beat me.
Well, Stevie GB, thank you so much for coming on to the Brian and Sherri Show tonight. It was such a pleasure.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Sure, and we'd love to have you come back again, and I'll definitely be in touch. We got to get you up into the Pittsfield, Mass area and get you on that Colonial Theater stage. So
I love it. I'd love to do it.
Yeah, we will try our hardest. Well, once again, thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you to all of our listeners on Blog Talk and out there in the world. And if you listen on Facebook, check out the links and look for the Stevie GB links I'm going to post from his YouTube, and you'll be able to watch and listen to him. Well, thank you so much, Stevie GB. Have a great night.
Thank you. You too, Sherri. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of The Brian and Sherri Show 4.0. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review and subscribe. And for more great content and to stay up to date, visit brian-and-sherri-show.org and on Facebook, Brian.Sherri Show. We'll catch you next time.